Thank you for coming. Good afternoon. Again, my name is Laura Kaub, and I work with Duolingo on the Duolingo and UNHCR University Access Program. Very briefly as to how this is related to Duolingo, you might think of the language learning app and the little owl and the like ding, right? We also have what's called the Duolingo English test, which is a highly accessible, very affordable English language proficiency test that students can use to access university or perhaps mobility opportunities. And from day one of offering the Duolingo English test, we have also made that test free to approximately 50,000 students and other young folks seeking employment around the world. And that is, sort of baked into the culture of Duolingo and its mission to make education accessible. And a number of the students and young people around the world who take the DET happen to be refugees. And so we saw a clear alignment with the goals of UNHCR and the 15 by 30 initiative. So last year we launched what is the Duolingo UNHCR Uni Access Program. Simply an effort to help very high potential refugee students get access to undergraduate education in countries around the world and get back on track in terms of their education pathways. So very briefly, in the first year, we sourced applications from refugee students under the care of UNHCR in 4 countries: Cameroon, Iraq, India, and South Africa. We boiled that down to a group of finalists who went through a rigorous selection process, and then we ended up with an inaugural cohort of 25 scholars who are from 7 different countries. And what I've been asked to do is to share the learnings from year 1, and there has been so much that we have learned. It's very hard to do very briefly, but what I'm going to do is a little bit of what they said and then what we learned. So first, what they said was universities don't want to admit refugees. They have other priorities. They're looking for other students. They're doing other things. They're not interested in refugees. And what we learned was at least this many universities want to admit refugees because our inaugural cohort are now studying at these universities in 6 countries around the world. They also said refugees are not ready for rigorous academic or rigorous university study, and we can understand why. Many refugees, unfortunately, have had disruptions in their education, have simply not been able to have access to primary or particularly secondary education, but not all of them. Many refugees are academically qualified for rigorous university study, and this program was just me, just one person looking for these students, right? And we found plenty. So that means that there are many more where those came from. In fact, many of our scholars receive very prestigious scholarship awards, including from the Schevening Program, Global Scholars Programs at a few different universities, the Donald Waring International Student Award, one of Canada's most selective international student scholarships, and a brand new Regents and Chancellor Scholarship at UC Berkeley, which was in fact created to facilitate African refugees studying at UC Berkeley. And that's our scholar on the end there. They also said refugees can't compete for significant financial aid, that they maybe don't have strong enough academics or strong enough of a profile to earn these significant financial aid dollars, since university is expensive in many places. And I'm happy to say that the first cohort received over $1.3 million in financial aid support. They definitely said refugees can't get study visas. And again, that's understandable. It's a very difficult process. There are many barriers that stand in the way to any low-income student getting a study visa, but certainly refugees. Fortunately, I'm happy to say that 100% of our scholars receive their visas to study in those 6 countries. Public-private partnerships don't work. It's very complex. There are a lot of competing priorities. It's difficult to navigate. Maybe, but Our partnerships made the success of this program possible. We had enormous support from UNHCR, especially the local staff and offices in India, Iraq, and South Africa. The United States President's Alliance on Higher Education has been a source of great support and information. We had support from U.S. government offices to facilitate and encourage those U.S. visas to be approved. WUSC, of course, is a huge supporter and partner, and many different NGOs and organizations around the world that are serving refugees around university access shared information with us, helped us connect, helped us learn what we needed to know. And I would say, finally, people just say it's too hard. And it's very, very hard. That is not incorrect, right? There are a lot of barriers in the way. There are a lot of difficult things to navigate. But it is hard, and yet it works. It is possible. We had incredible success this first year, thanks to the collaboration, thanks to the incredibly hard work and high potential of these few students that we worked with. And there are many more where they came from, and so we will continue doing that work. And right now, the second class, the second cohort of our scholars, it has submitted their applications, and we will see what they hear in the coming weeks and months from those universities. And we hope that they will continue their studies in 2024. So, this is not sort of a Q&A scenario, but I am around. Feel free to email me. Just literally Google Duolingo and UNHCR, and you will find information about our program. Tell your friends. If you have other folks working in higher ed access, please share this information or that this program exists. We'd love to have even more uni partners, even more students from even more places resuming their education journey with this collaboration. Thank you very much.